To start off, let me ask you a few questions. Firstly, women and men, do you believe this is a fair assessment of female portrayment? Next, in your daily life, have you ever seen girls showing any display scene on screen? And lastly, would you believe me that all these images were taken from male directed movies?
My research is based on the gender of the director and how much of an impact it has on female representation on screen. This is important to address since with the fourth feminist wave focusing on sexual harassment, body shaming, rape culture, and with COVID keeping people isolated in their house, people are turning more and more to television as a source of entertainment. Therefore, it has never been as relevant to discuss the implication of misrepresenting half of the population. Since how can we expect to live in an equal society if we cannot depict the two sexes equally? Now, how do we measure such a thing like sexism if it isn't a material thing? Well, I use three categories to measure sexism. First, the male gaze. Images or shock simply added to the movie to sexualize female characters without pushing the plot. Secondly, gender roles. Stereotypical roles for sexes, and if the characters in the movies help to break these pre established norms. Lastly, the Bechdel test, which is to measure the amount of female representation on screen. The test consists of three steps. First, is there two named female character? Pretty easy so far, right? But now here is where it gets tricky. Those two female characters need to talk to each other. And lastly, those two female characters need to talk for 1 minute without the subject revolving around love or men. So, for this experiment, I paired five female directed movies and five male directed movies, in which case, purple is for female and green is for male. As you can see, female directed movies have no male gaze, equal in gender roles, but perform way better on the Bechdel test. As for male directed movies, well, look at the data yourself. So let's look at an in depth example at one of the paired movies, the superhero genre. Wonder Woman and Thor Ragnarok were the paired movies. So, in Wonder Woman, she goes through a personal journey while showing her physical prowess, in which she goes through a world shift growing as an individual. In the movie Thor, the first female character introduced is shown in PG 13 lingerie, catwalks onto screen, with the camera goes from the feet to the head, because we all know that the body is way more important than what defines a human being like a face. As for the other female character, she's portrayed with more male traits than feminine ones, basically becoming the cool girl trope. Although, what is truly important is for you, the audience, to understand how movies portray female characters and then avoid or criticize sexist movies, and search for better and more equal movies. Thank you for your time.